Hi, I'm Dr. SIEWERT, a German dentist living and working in Madrid. I'm really proud to present you today the SIEWERT Bridge. It is the result of 11 years of investigation and clinical testing. I'm convinced that the SIEWERT Bridge concept is the best treatment solution available at the moment. Without the progress in dental CAD/CAM technologies and the availability of the PEEK polymer as a dental disc, the SIEWERT Bridge would not exist. In this video, I want to share with you the improvements of the SIEWERT Bridge compared with traditional screwed-on implant-supported bridges. In 2015, Pico Bello was founded. It is a commercial laboratory which does not process metal in its installations, and therefore it is specialized on metal-free solutions. And the PEEK polymer is a key material in order to succeed this. If you are interested in the whole progress of the development of the SIEWERT Bridge, you may watch the full lecture I gave in 2017 at the EIO conference in Madrid. You can find it easily on YouTube, searching for SIEWERT PEEK EIO Madrid. At the end of 2016, we finished a 5-year retrospective study of 20 patients we provided with a full arch implant supported PEEK framework bridge. My team invested hundreds of hours to collect all the clinical data, and we also tried to evaluate the patient's satisfaction with the OHIP questionnaire. If you're interested in more detailed information about the study, you can download the full paper in internet. It is published at the European Journal for Dental Implantologists, the EDI, in 2019. In 2018, we completely switched to use this PEEK disc. It comes from JUNMED. We are very satisfied with the material, and it's an unfilled PEEK. That's really what we prefer. This unfilled PEEK disc is produced by JUNMED in Beijing, a high-tech company specialized on high-end PEEK products in medicine and dentistry. Okay, so really let's start with the SIEWERT Bridge. We have here a patient that wears an all-on-4 type treatment in the upper jaw. We have good aesthetics with our ceramic crowns. You can see here an occlusal view. The composite closures of the screw canal are nearly invisible due to the full ceramic crowns. And I want that you pay attention that you really only can see the ceramic crowns. We have a good aesthetics even if the patient is laughing with the open mouth. Despite the design, the full anatomical design of our PEEK framework. So here you have really a world premiere, and it's the first bridge worldwide that has no metal parts where the bridge is screwed onto the multi-unit abutment. We have the multi-unit cupping directly, precisely milled out of the Junmed peak, and the special SIEWERT screw is sitting directly inside the peak. In 11 years we did not have any single screw fracture or even screw loosening, and the soft handling is very pleasant for the dentist. Here you see a 4.5-year-old bridge work in the patient's mouth. Normally nobody likes to show treatment solutions that have already been several years in use, because it's normal that they don't look like new. But here on this patient, the only part where you can really see these 4.5 years is the brown coloring of the composite in the screw channels, and the rest there's absolutely no deterioration. We have no fissures, we have no cracks, we have no abrasion. And the most astonishing thing is the Xray image. So this panoramic Xray was made when the patient came in after 4.5 years for a recall. And we can see this healthy and absolutely stable bone around the implants. And in our paper we showed that this was the case in the other 20 examined patients too. So this might be due to the shock absorbing capability of the PEEK framework. You see that the ceramic crowns are more or less floating in space. That's due to the fact that the unfilled PEEK polymer is absolutely radio translucent, so you can hardly see it in the Xray. What you also can see here is the implant, whatever implant you want to use, it's possible, and then you screw in this worldwide standard of universal multi-unit abutments, and you have several heights to compensate different soft tissue thickness, and you have straight multi-unit abutments and angled ones with 17 and 30 degree, also as standard. So here you see a 17 degree multi-unit abutment, and that produces this combination between the implant and the multi-unit abutment is our baseline for the SIEWERT bridge. So here you see the situation after 4.5 years with absolutely healthy and stable soft tissue, and if we have stable soft tissue we also will find stable hard tissue beneath. The situation 4.5 years later, so that's absolutely stable, okay? So we can leave PEEK here, or we can cover it with the ceramics. That's, you are free, and these design details, the patient is not demonstrating this part while he is laughing. He wanted to be the solution with the best biocompatible and cleanable solution. In the beginning, once again, and after 4.5 years, and you see if we switch in between both, we have really stable solution and a healthy situation. So the key point of the SIEWERT bridge is this PEEK framework. We had this good experience to make it fully anatomically in the basal side and then the oral side, and here now we are prepared to easily cement our single crowns. This structure is extremely lightweight. This structure is elastic, so PEEK has a bone-like elasticity. That's very important because therefore we always achieve a passive fit, because due to the elasticity, the bridge and also the veneered bridge is able to compensate minor errors that not always can be avoided, especially if we go from the model to the patient's mouth. So that's why we don't have screw fractures. We have this healthy bone because we always have a passive fit. Another point is that we can make really large cantilevers because PEEK is absolutely fracture resistant if we stay in the correct volume. That's important. If we make it too thin, so really we can have fractures, but that's absolutely impossible with this kind of design. And PEEK has really no fatigue in the material. This is the gray color from this unfilled biocompatible JUNMED PEEK. And here we have now our ceramic single crowns. We always use high translucent multi-layered zirconia. The resistance of this high translucent zirconia is enough. If it's cemented on the PEEK, we never had cracks or fractures, and we enjoy this very favorable aesthetic outcome of the high translucent material. It's a thin layer. You will see it on the videos we will have on our channel, where step by step we will explain the workflow. So we say to exocad we want to have a space of 1.2 millimeters for these crowns. And therefore we get an absolutely abrasion-free occlusion over the years. And in some way we can say we have now a flexible ceramic bridge. Years ago I explained this procedure with a Lego construction. So we have the first Lego is our baseline, the combination of the implant and the multi-unit. The next Lego brick is our PEEK framework. We can have 1 brick, 2 bricks, 3 bricks, 4 bricks. Depends on the volume of the bridge. No, absolutely no problem. And then we have 1 layer, and that's our veneering, and we do this in the SIEWERT bridge with ceramic material. So here in the individual cut-come design of this single crowns, the technician is absolutely artistically free of doing the shape he prefers. Even with big volume bridges, we can provide lightweight bridges, and we can provide bridges with a shock absorbing interface, and the shock absorbing interface is the PEEK. So here you see a big vertical cantilever. Here solution with pink aesthetics, and despite the height of the bridge, the whole bridge only weighs 26 grams. Also in this sense, the SIEWERT bridge is a very biological bridge, because if you compare these high volume bridges with ceramic fused to metal bridges or with full zirconia bridges that are very, very heavy, this is comfortable for the patient. So here another case. You see the prepared framework for the ceramic crowns for the pink aesthetics, and it's here the bonding is applied. That's why we have this reflections on the peak. This was a patient. We made a ceramic fused to metal bridge construction in the upper jaw more than 20 years ago, and in the lower jaw she had a full denture, a complete denture, fixed by 4 implants with O-ring attachments. She asked us if we can offer her a fixed solution in the lower jaw. So here you see the SIEWERT bridge finished, and now we will have ceramics against ceramics in this patient. But due to the PEEK framework, we are not afraid of problems in these cases. So here we have the situation in the mouse. We have good aesthetics. We have a clean situation. This fracture was produced about 8 years ago, and we were not really able to repair it with composites. So the patient decided to leave it like that, because if we make here a reparation, getting away the ceramics, gluing a ceramic veneer in there, we have seen in other cases we might change the structure of the whole bridge and damage more, even more. And so if this should happen for some reason or for an accident in the SIEWERT bridge, it's absolutely easy to take a crown out. It's cemented like we are used to cement a crown on a natural tooth. We can mill a new zirconia crown and cement it, even without retrieving the bridge out of the patient's mouth. The SIEWERT bridge is much more than that. The SIEWERT bridge is a whole concept. I will try to explain it to you with this bridge. It's a PMMA bridge, absolutely identical to a finished definitive SIEWERT bridge. That's possible due to the STL file and the SIEWERT screw. And now we are able to produce a PMMA bridge, to make an aesthetic try-in, to test the precise fit on the implants, to have a look at the occlusion, and even if we want to have an immediate loading, we can easily produce this bridge within 24 hours. Before, we had to glue in this PMMA provisional bridges these metal copings. But this is a big problem, because in the moment we have to glue in these copings, this provisional bridge has a different design than the definitive SIEWERT bridge made of the PEEK framework and the zirconia crowns. So we don't have the same workflow in the cut-come process. But now, with the SIEWERT screw and the SIEWERT STL file, we are able to make a PMMA bridge, and here in this case it's in the frequent situation that we have to take out the 4 inferior incisors. We do direct and immediate implantation of 2 implants, and then we want to have an immediate loading by a provisional bridge, so we can do it nicely and very fast. And if this bridge has resulted that everything's perfect in the mouse, so it's very easy to copy this shape to a definitive bridge work with the PEEK framework and the zirconia crowns. So I hope you enjoyed this introduction to the SIEWERT bridge. You see here the screw canals in PEEK. They are clean, they are easy to close. You can close it with Teflon and composite very aesthetically. From above, we have also a clean solution. We have the fully anatomical framework that's fracture resistant. And I would like to thank Junmed for their support to make it possible that it's available to everybody. And that's by this starter kit. So in the starter kit you will find the PEEK disc, you will find a multi-layer zirconia disc, you'll find the scan bodies, you'll find the SIEWERT screws, you will have one set of screws for the laboratory and one set of sterile screws for the patient. They are a little bit darker because they have a special hardening process. And in the starter kit you will find the STL file on a USB stick. So if you are interested, you can buy it from Siladent. Thanks for watching. A like is very much appreciated. So you can share your comments with us below, and in the near future we will put on our channel videos that show you step by step the whole process in order to make your own SIEWERT bridges. And I'm sure that you and your dentist and your patients, that they will like it very much. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. Goodbye.